Have you ever found yourself in a place wondering how you managed to get here again? And in the moments that you take to think about it, you start to realize, wait, is there a pattern here? Am I always doing the same things and landing in the exact same spot? This was absolutely a part of my story, and recognizing your own self-sabotage is a key part of finally making the changes that you need to make to step into the body that you can have, that is within your reach and within your control. It's our mind that gets in the way of our body so often. On this episode, I'm going to share with you the 5 things I needed to realize and come to terms with and accept in order to stop my self-sabotage cycle. So let's dive into that today. If you are struggling with those things, this episode is absolutely going to be for you. But before we dive in, I want to remind you that right now I am accepting applications for my famous 2-month hormone rebalancing private coaching program. It is a small, intense container where we work together one-on-one, and it is by application only. I only take 6 women at a time. We connect very deeply and work closely together. That is why I can only take 6 people. So if you are truly ready, or maybe you're not sure, fill out the application, look for an email from me about scheduling the next step if you are accepted, and hop on that call with me, because even if it's not the right thing for either of us, I can at the very least understand your story, your body, your life a little bit better and point you in a direction for some relief. All right, sisters, let's dive in.
What's up, sisters? Welcome to the Period Whisperer podcast. I'm Bria. I'm your host. If you're new, I'm so happy you are here. I'm your perimenopause and menopause sister, your holistic trainer, hormone specialist, translator of your female body. I'm a recovering people pleaser and hustle addict turned body whisperer and hormone decoder. And I am here to help you de-stress your body, decode what it is saying, become the CEO of it, and own your own health, energy, and weight loss again. This show is for you, the overwhelmed, overworked, underappreciated step woman who dreams of a body they feel strong, energetic, and sane in. The woman who knows that she shouldn't just wave the white aging flag and believes in a body and life of peace, love, and purpose. But you don't just know how to get there yet. So if you are stuck in your body, your energy, your life, you are in the right spot. Let's lean in and learn what our bodies are saying to us.
Hey sisters, Bria here, your host of the Period Whisperer podcast. I'm really glad that you're here. You know, you might be in a place where you're at complete rock bottom in your frustration with your body and how it's feeling. Maybe it feels like it's speaking a completely different language than you. Maybe it feels like you will never feel good in your body again. Maybe it feels completely out of your control. Or maybe you're just wanting to understand your body a little bit better. Maybe you have been implementing some of the little things that I have shared in my posts, in my stories, in my emails, in these podcast episodes, and you are feeling a little relief and you're ready to keep going and you're looking for that motivation, that inspiration, that focus to do so. I know for me, when I want to create a new habit, when I want to change, I've really come to understand that it takes time and energy to change. And although we want results like yesterday, it's that daily compound effect of choosing differently, of being aware of what's keeping us stuck, of taking a moment to look at it, of sitting through the craving and wondering where it's really coming from, of stopping the behavior, recognizing it, and then choosing differently again and again. And no, it doesn't happen overnight, but it does get easier. And this is the work, right? You can imagine that it's pretty incredible to see the top of a mountain from a helicopter view, but it's an entirely different experience when you hike that mountain and felt that journey and changed and shifted inside of you. That experience of actually going up the mountain yourself is what permanently changes you. There have been so many times in my life where I have experienced something magnificent and I felt how it touches me so deeply inside. Even by going to a musical or a concert or a movie, and you see that kind of end piece, that inspiration, you get that big piece. But it doesn't change you. It doesn't stick with you. It doesn't move the needle the same way that it does when you actually put the hard work in. And this is something that we have to constantly remind ourselves of over and over again on our journey towards change. That there is no quick answer. There is no fast route. There is no pill or potion or a secret that no one is telling you. The truth is that it is your journey that changes you. It is the work that you put in that changes you. So you are here, you know that something is not right. You want to make those changes. You understand that your hormones are impacting you and that you have choices here to make that. So let's dive into this episode. Grab a pen and paper. It's going to be one of those down and dirty episodes where I give you these 5 key things that were keeping me stuck in self-sabotage, that when I began to understand them, think about them, digest them, practice them, become aware of them, I was able to calm the hormonal chaos in my body and release the weight and step into the body that finally felt like me. Our body isn't supposed to look a specific way or be a specific way. It's supposed to feel like us, like a representation of how we feel on the inside. We're supposed to be able to look in the mirror and feel like we see ourselves when we do that. And calming that hormonal chaos in myself and my clients, whether you're in the Perimenopause posse with me or whether you're working really deeply in my one-on-one hormone rebalancing program, this is the work that we do. So let me share with you, grab that pen and paper, as I said, or make some notes in your phone. That's what I like to do. Sometimes I'll just be listening to a podcast and I'll pause the podcast and I'll do an audio note in my notes so that I can review it later and remember what I felt and thought in that moment. All right, you ready? Let's do it. Number 1 on the self-sabotage list. Everything gets harder before it gets easier. Culture teaches us to stay stuck in a microwave mentality, instant gratification. When we don't see our results immediately, we think it isn't working and we abandon our efforts for something else. Or we think we need to have things in a perfect alignment in order for us to actually do the work. It's got to be a Monday. It's got to be the beginning of a week, the beginning of a month, the beginning of a year. We can't be going through a stressful situation. But nature reminds us that all things take time. When you clean a dirty mirror, the first few wipes smears the dirt around and makes it appear even dirtier. Only when we keep wiping does the reflection become clear again. Remembering that it is part of the journey to feel like the things are messier helps it to stay consistent so that we can keep going to get our results. When I started to understand this, I began to trust the process a little bit more, give it a little bit more time and start looking for my results, looking for that clear mirror as I kept pushing things away. A really big thing for me was to give up taking a pre-workout before I did a workout first thing in the morning. Waking up and caffeinating was elevating the cortisol in my body and making me exhausted by the mid-afternoon. And if you've ever been addicted to caffeine before, you know that when you cut back on caffeine or cut it out, it really comes with a withdrawal symptom for most of us. That's like this intense brain fog and headache that nothing will get better. No Tylenol, no Advil, no ibuprofen or acetaminophen brand is going to help. You have to kind of go through it like a lion hunt. and everything gets a little foggy before it gets clear again. But by day 4 or 5 off of caffeine, for example, suddenly you start to feel clearer than you have in a really long time. And this was a really clear example for me of remembering that I have to give things a few days, even a few weeks. If I know that the decision I'm making is a good for my body decision, then it is worth sticking with, because like that journey up the mountain, it is making me stronger. It is making my body healthier, even if I don't recognize it yet, right? It's like choosing to lie when no one else might notice or not. When you tell the truth, you feel that deep inside in your core. So remember that. Number 1 was that keeps us stuck in self-sabotage is starting to undo and recognize that everything gets harder before it gets easier. Number 2 is cognitive dissonance. Now, if you have been to therapy before or studied psychology, you probably are familiar with this term. It's the state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially as relating to behavioral decisions and attitude change. This is a big piece for a lot of us, and it certainly was for me when it comes to self-sabotage. When our body is in hormonal chaos, it is begging us to make healthier choices. But we stay suffering and stuck when our mind still requests unhealthy behaviors. For example, continuing to drink alcohol or eat unhealthy foods. Align your mind and the body, and you'll stop the pattern of self-sabotage and release what is keeping you stuck here. Our body is desperate for a lower inflammatory situation. Our mind wants quick energy because we're not sleeping enough. It wants peace from alcohol or food, to make ourselves feel better because we're not comforting ourselves properly. It seeks for dopamine hits really quickly, but what we really need is rest or warmth or healthy food. That's what's going to heal the deeper issue down below. And our body feels this. When we choose something that's out of alignment with us, at our age, it gets worse and worse. And it's always like that. But don't forget that youth is very forgiving. And our bodies can bob and weave a lot faster when we're younger. It still doesn't mean it's the right thing for us. When we stop the cognitive dissonance and we really start to align our choices with the genuine needs of our body, you will stop that pattern of self-sabotage. And the body, when you give it that little bit of time, like we did in step 1, will start to release. Number 3, you can only hear what the body truly needs when you calm the chaos in it. Like having a child, or like having your child, watching your child, like a child having a tantrum. When the body is in hormonal chaos and struggling with inflammation, digestive issues, and discomfort, we actually cannot hear what it is truly in need of to get back to weight release and energy. Calming that chaos first with breath, with sleep, with gentle movement and clean nutrition, and you will be able to connect with the body. When you provide what she needs, you will get the results that you want. We work really hard. We look so hard for all the complicated ways to get to an end point. We're looking for an easy path. But when you take the easy path, you never are getting the depth of the results that you want. You're never learning the lesson that you want, like never letting your child fail. They don't understand that failure is a part of life. And when we're constantly picking the easy route, which might be, when you think about that going on the lion hunt example, trying to go around it, you're going to expend a lot of energy going around the mountain or the muck when, yes, going through it might feel hard, might feel dirty, might feel slow. It genuinely is the fastest way there. You can't avoid that your body thrives best with deep breath. You can't avoid that your central nervous system needs to be calm in order to move you into rest and digest and out of fight or flight, and that a body in fight or flight will hang on to weight and create more chaos. The only path forward is to take a deep breath, Surrender, focus on those four key health pillars and do the work, knowing that you're doing right by your body. Calm that chaos by following your four health pillars, and you will start to hear every day the little messages of your body that she just needs a little more sleep, or that she's ready to push harder in a workout, or that she genuinely cares for someone or genuinely doesn't, or wants to make a career change, or needs a vacation. When we start to actually hear those messages, we can honor them and never get so far off the path. All right, number 4. What's on the inside will always show up on the outside. When we fuel our mind and body with garbage and shenanigans, like a lot of stuff on social media, our body will show us garbage and shenanigans. When you stuff, numb, or ignore emotions, resentment, and frustration, our body will mirror this too. Quality in versus quality out. This is the important piece that we cannot forget. Test if you genuinely put that time in, you genuinely know the content, and then you're ready and it's much easier for you to thrive. When you don't do the deep reading and you just skim the topics, we only know so much. Again, quality in means quality out. All right, the final piece, number 5, is that we have to take one step back to get that running leap forward. And we get really caught up in this thinking that nothing, again, no results are happening, nothing is happening. When it's time to change, we have to get quiet for a little while. We have to calm all the chitty chatter that our brain gives to us, all the excuses that it tells us to do things differently, all the reasons why this is not working. We have to get quiet and recognize that before our body is going to release weight, it has to do all of these other pieces first. So take a deep breath, sister. Get off the scale. Tune into your body and ask yourself every single day, am I showing up for myself? Am I doing the real, honest work? Am I really reading that chapter? Am I really breathing? Am I really believing what my body is worth? Or am I trying to cut corners here? When you stop looking for your results 2 steps ahead and tune into your body and ask yourself, am I tired? How does my body feel? Is my digestion feeling really good? Are my clothes, how are they feeling on my body? What are all the main pillars of health and green flags, and are those aligned? Because once those are aligned long enough, the body will release and start to become what we know it to be. All right, sisters, that's what I have for you today. If you need some type of help, some type of mindset work, if you just need some free support right now, I ask for you to share this episode with someone else who might need it, or to write a review here on iTunes, take a picture of that review and email it to me, or send it to me through Instagram or Facebook or through my website. And I will send you my moving hormone rebalancing meditation series that can help you have something every single day to stay focused on how you feel. And if you are ready for something in depth, if you know you want to change and you really want the clear direction and the support and the mindset work that goes along with that, you're ready to really do that work, I want to remind you that right now applications are open for my 2-month hormone rebalancing coaching program. It is not something to apply for if you are feeling like you're looking for a quick fix. It's for those of you who want to do that deep, real work and let it change you. And if you're not sure how you're feeling, but you're interested in something in your gut is saying, let's apply, please just apply and then look out for an email from me letting you know that you've been accepted to have a call or not. Our initial call is a free goal assessment call. And if it's not the right thing, that's okay. There's no obligation. I will point you in another direction. I have plenty of other options for you. Or if we're just not a good fit, then I can point you in a direction of someone else. All right, sisters, the most important thing here is that you go out and focus on being more in your life and not just less on a scale.
Thank you so much for joining me on the Period Whisperer podcast. I want to encourage you to reach out to me directly and message me if there are topics or things you're struggling with so we can address those right where you are at. And of course, if you loved this episode, if you learned something, make sure to share it with your friends and please rate and review it wherever you get your podcasts.